Today is the day of applying deer rawhide to the tips of that bow. Not really to cushion the string, as it is said in certain literature, but to make it nice and smooth so it won't erode the bowstring, and also it's going to look cool. And so I have this end, not the whole thing, but just basically where it's going to be covered, and then a little beyond, sanded and sized, where I just take it and stick that in my glue pot. I want to make sure there's enough glue on there. I want to make that rawhide stick. And so I have, the next one is, these are by no means finished trim. They're in there somewhere. Thinned deer rawhide. I just put it on the concrete floor in the basement and 80 grit sanding block until I could see through it. Next, I'm going to wipe my hands off here because I actually have those two pieces of rawhide soaking in a weak hide glue mixture in coffee. I'm coffee staining it. Now it is true that I could have just did it bare, or I could have used beet juice in hide glue, coffee, whatever. It's just a matter of personal taste. I want to have a slightly darkened rawhide on the tip so people will see from miles around, whoa, there's rawhide on there. A few notes. I do not finish trim it until it's soft and supple and kind of stretchy, and I can see how much I have to trim away. Measure 14 times, cut 3 times. I'm exaggerating. You know, just be careful. There's not, and I've done it before. I did it once before. I tried to, for some reason it worked out. I tried to finish trim it, then soak it. I put it on there, and it's like, egads, I have to make a new one because I trimmed it too close. But that's it. It's soaking in warm hide glue mixture. I just took my hide glue pot here. There it is. Took a dollop of glue, put it in the coffee. Not super hot, just warm enough to stay liquid at room temperature. Or a little above. You get my drift. Okay, so what I have to do now, aside from finishing trim that, I want to have a decent overlap around here in this little end and this little complex curve I got there, or dank, where the tab is. You know, it makes quite a complicated little system. So you have to not only wrap the rawhide, and again, it's soaking in hide glue, so it's going to be sticky as soon as I put it on there. You don't only have to wrap it, you need to give support to this portion right in here where the string sits. Give support with a string. Not braced tight. It doesn't need to be that way, because that stuff wants to cooperate, that rawhide. But maybe string it and then put a box or something there just to add some tension so the string will go in there. Then, I know this is like do this first and then do that, but you had to do this first. Somehow you have to wrap the rawhide, and with a cotton string works good enough and gets into crevices and stuff. Completely wrapped. If you have an open wrap where you can see the rawhide through there, you're going to have a spiral impression in it, and then it could lift up between the wraps and you'll have little gaps. So you have to be careful. But you've got some time to work. Make sure that you let it dry all the way before you undo that. Maybe after it's kind of dry, you can look at it, maybe tighten your bowstring, fiddle with it, but then make sure it's fully supported so it doesn't lift out of that. That's not even an inside curve, that's an inside gully. You don't want it to lift out. This technique, the rawhide also works if you have standard string grooves on a regular old bow tip. Just have to make your string grooves a little bigger in diameter to account for the thickness of the rawhide. Or else you're going to have to sand through them and then see bare wood through there. And then you kind of defeated your purpose. You don't have that smooth rawhide. What else can I say about this? Oh, you notice that it's still mummy wrapped. The outer surface of the sinew dries first, well before the inside, that layer between the wood and the outside. It's challenging, think about. And so I want to keep it compressed so I don't get fissures that form. will probably heal a little bit as the inside shrinks in, but I like to keep it supported, and I like to keep it supported especially right in here, because the backing goes down along the side a little bit. If you've got x-ray vision, you can see where that edge goes down on the wood. Well, this is an inside edge, which means if it's not supported either by tight wrapping right here or temporary sinew wraps right in this area, it's going to pull up when it dries, because this stuff is going to keep shrinking and shrinking over the course of 6 months. I've seen it. I've had a bow, sinew backed it, set it away, didn't think about it, and then put it up against a wall, and it's going to reflex. 2 weeks later, more reflex. A month later, more reflex. 2 months later, more reflex. It slows down, but it'll keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. I don't know. You know, they say dry versus cure. I don't know what that means. All I know is from experience, this stuff will keep working, getting shrinkier and stronger. I keep saying this. I've said this in a lot of videos. It's going to keep working for months and months and months. I'm also going to say this again, because this is important. I've heard these folks say that sinew backing is deceptive. You sinew back a bow, it's at 60 pounds, use a little bit, and then it goes down to 40. That's because they rushed it. Think of this. The sinew is joined at a subatomic level. I have to be hyperbolic here. And if you rush the sinew job and start using it after a week or 2 weeks or even a month, you're going to get these little things like that, and suddenly, yeah, your bow's going to drop in weight. Unexpectedly and sometimes catastrophically. I want it to be exactly 55 pounds at 27 3/4. Well, forget it. It's sinew. It changes because of humidity. But if you get it close, let's say 50 pounds, plus or minus, we deal in not absolutes here, and you went and you started using it too early, hey, the chances of that bow then going down to 35 pounds, and this all varies depending on the thickness and the length of the bow and all these other things. These are just some numbers. It's going to go from 50 pounds, maybe if you rush that sinew and you don't let it dry and strengthen all the way, down to 35 pounds. Now you've got a decent 35-pound bow, but you have just wasted 15 pounds because the sinew maybe has tiny little breaks or something. I don't know. Again, I've just seen it. This whole notion that sinew is, you can't count on it because you make a bow this weight and then suddenly now it's like way less. It's because the sinew job was reduced in time. Like I told David, future owner of this bow, I don't wish you luck, I wish you patience. At every step of bow making, got to be patient. Well, that's all. Just like you're patient, listening to me just kind of blather on here. Stuff to do, people to meet, got to find my bowstring, got to find the string to wrap it, and then final trim it and stick it on. Can't find the bow. Where is it? Where?